Lester.
Talk to me. Tell me how you feel. Make sure you keep it real, though. You already know that.
Your camera's going. Alright, so.
Oh, good.
We welcome into the podcast with the thoughts of Raw Uncut with Unfiltered.
Yeah.
Tab.
Focus. Freaky.
This is Sammy Socialite because he's being extra right now. And I'm Shaq.
Perfect. Alright, so we're going to get straight to the point. So, last week we were discussing a lot of different topics, but we ended off with a highlight on just letting everybody know that they needed to watch the Democratic presidential debates that they were going to be having. 2 nights on the 26th and the 27th, which was Wednesday and Thursday. So, let's discuss a couple of highlights. I'll give you guys some highlights that stood out to me. I'm going to love to hear your perspective on them, Shaq, only because I know that you're not, like you said, one of those people who are just heavily into politics or political. So I just want to see what are your thoughts still on everything that's being talked about. So let's get straight into it. I'm not going to go long into this. Okay. On the first night, first of all, for both sets of Democratic debates, it was very all over the place, and you could hear that everybody was just trying to find a side
their place
and trying to figure out. Basically, they wanted black people and they wanted brown people to know, I need your vote. Point blank period. So everything that they discussed was things that really affected our community, and then every so often there was something in there about taxes and stuff. Main things that stood out was universal health care. Some people are for universal health care. Others are for you having universal health care, but also being able to still have your private insurance through your job. There was mixed emotions from all candidates. Mind you, there's 20 candidates, 10 each debate. There was talk about school systems and gun reform. Needing to rethink how we have access to guns, putting restrictions on it. There are some people who firmly stuck to let's rethink this Second Amendment about your right to bear arms, and then there's others who thought that maybe we needed more therapeutic services within the schools to help students who are facing trauma, bullying, and different situations, so that they are able to know how to
basically get those feelings out versus turn into weapons.
Right, because they felt like most people who were doing the shooting were people who came from that school and they experienced some type of trauma there, which is what led them to doing what they did. There was discussion on immigration, hands down. People wanted to get DACA going back the way that it was before. The ban on how we have people coming in, making it criminal or civil for if someone comes over to America illegally, like how they want to handle that. There was mixed feelings on how people want to handle that, but generally everybody wanted the Dreamers to know that they supported them, that how we have these private institutions that are created for them to be in, like being held, to disband all of that.
Yeah, because a lot of those are actually just, I mean, they're empty prisons, a lot of them. So it's not that,
Exactly.
you know, they created this setting for them. They're prisons.
So those were my highlights from the debate. That's what everybody else is talking about. I think the thing that stood out to me, there was a couple of people who tax cuts. Bernie Sanders admit that our taxes would be raised if he was there, but it was only to benefit us getting universal health care. He felt like for Canada and other countries to be able to provide it, how come we can't? The argument against that was Canada has way less people than we do, so financially they can afford at 35 million people there, and we got 130 something million here. It's easier to put forth a universal health tax for them than to put that for us. And anyways, so even if you didn't watch the debates, what are your thoughts on some of the
I watched a little bit of it on the second night.
The best night.
Yeah, I saw when they were talking about universal health care. They were talking about removing the debt for student loan.
Yes.
And all that stuff like that. So my general impression from it, I'm a little bit jaded when it comes to politics anyway, because I don't trust the government and my whole thing. So it seemed like they started off the night saying, and this is my whole thing as well, like, okay, you can make these claims, but in this 2020 election, in this race, it's very important for these candidates to be able to spell out and show how they plan to accomplish these things that they're saying they're going to do, right? So that was that seemed like the main thing they were talking about the second night when they were talking about removing the student loan debt for everybody. That the question was put on, like, you have to explain how you're going to do that, and is it possible? Is it feasible? So I found it interesting, but on the flip side, to me, this is where the jaded part comes in. It just seemed like everybody was trying to outdo each other and trying to say what sounded the best. You feel me? Like,
that's what she's supposed to do with a debate.
But they was yelling at each other.
When you say
there were direct questions that weren't being answered, and
they literally would ask them to answer it directly,
and they would just not. They would have a speech that they want to say that they thought would sound good that wasn't answering the question.
And Trump is not doing what he's supposed to be doing. And
I just feel like it's way too many candidates right now.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too.
Like, I refuse to even take them seriously until it's actually time to cut that list down.
See, but hold on, that's the problem, and we discussed this in one of the early episodes. We can't wait till we have a smaller amount of candidates to choose from, because we have to make sure we have the right candidates that we're choosing.
At the end of the day,
we have to look from now. It definitely matters, though. It definitely matters. That's the
if they didn't, Hillary was by far in leaps and bounds better than any candidate that I've seen this year. If she couldn't beat them,
no,
what makes you think these people gonna beat them?
Absolutely not. Hillary was not. She may have had more experience in there, but she is definitely not better than the candidates that we have.
She was a lot of times she was a lesser of two evils, which a lot of times is where what I can see what Focus is talking about. Like, okay, if you let it get to that point, then it's like, okay, both of them suck, but out of the two that suck, who we gonna pick?
Right. If Obama trusted her to be in his cabinet, she could have been the president.
He trusted Biden too, but I mean, he still has his flaws. I just wouldn't say that she, out of the candidates that we have today, that she's better than every single one of them.
She is.
I can't see that.
I feel you, but I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real.
Well, I'm trying to see, like, what accolades are you giving her to say that outside of her being on his cabinet?
That was a big part. Like, she was the secretary or whatever. Shit.
So my point. But what was she doing? Because he allowed her to be there.
She was doing work.
No formal accolades, though. Okay.
Do y'all think universal health care is possible?
I don't necessarily think that it's possible in the American climate, only because at this point, I think country-wise, we've kind of showed that, like, capitalism is important to us. So people want to be able to make their money, capitalize off of healthcare, capitalize off the fact that people are sick, versus saying, okay, if you pay your taxes, if you do XYZ, you can, if it's a health issue, you can step into this doctor's office and be cared for on the same level as everybody. I don't think we're to that point because, I mean, we're so stuck on money.
I will say this, that one of the candidates, to touch on what you just said, she was Senator Williams. She stated that it is not a healthcare issue that we're having. That it's a when I'm sick issue that we're having. So it just goes back to what you're saying. We don't have a healthcare plan that's meant for
because people don't want
to
to
stay
pay money.
healthy. We have it for when you get sick.
Yeah.
And so the issue with that is that she tied it in that this is bigger than healthcare. This is chemical control. This is climate control. This is all of these kind of issues as well that we have to deal with. And that if we had better food, if we had better
America
options,
is
we
not
wouldn't have that health
willing
issue.
to look at all of that right now
They are
because they're
willing
so
to.
focused on making money.
Exactly. and
So
that's
what
why
it
they
sounds
go
like,
back to
what it
capitalism.
sounds like you're saying is the Democrats are wasting a hell of a lot of time discussing shit that's not gonna help them beat Trump.
That's real. Point blank, straight to the
right
point.
now,
Right.
I'm just gonna keep it
But
going.
it's supposed to be.
I don't give a fuck about free healthcare. Like when I
speak it. 'Cause
like
it's
I'll
true.
go to the doctor if I need to go to the doctor. Yeah, that shit might cost money, but the bigger issue is the fucking debt. Like we dead ass can't even. You can't even get a job sometimes from after graduating college, but they sending letters trying to get $600 a month off you.
It's it. You better
Like,
say it.
That is the issue. Now I don't think that issue is strong enough to go against the Republicans with, but whoever's coming next for our generation, that needs to be fixed because like that interest.
And it's stupid.
That
And
interest
so,
keeps building. Then my interest on my student loans is almost at the exact same cost that my loans ended up being when I graduated.
listen, so somebody talked about that and they discussed that as far as our student
So
loans are
basically,
concerned,
the
we should
interest
be
is
able to
becoming a loan in
refinance.
itself.
They said we should be able to refinance our loans for students the same way you're able to refinance your loan for your car or for your house. So they discussed that is an issue. So there are people discussing these issues. The problem is that, like you said,
It's not
we're
the
not
right
going to
ones.
get it. You bet.
Well,
Okay,
that's
so
all. I mean, that's
straight
what I'm
to
saying.
it.
Like,
That's it's what it
somebody,
is. The right stuff is coming out of the wrong person's mouth. We need the people who we know
somebody
would
send
vote for.
help.
But what I said what I've said in I think previous episodes, no, is the fact that with these politicians, it's like you kind of have to take everything that they say.
I
with a
said we
grain
was
of
gonna
salt.
open it up with this.
No, you didn't. You
Yes,
said
she said that at the end.
I said we're gonna
Oh.
open up. I said so we could go ahead and
And
just
get it over with.
and then get to all the other good
I was
stuff.
like,
I wanted to, 'cause
I
I
was
know
so
this isn't
bored.
something that-
I was just.
I know I saw you over there. You sounded like somebody auntie.
Nah, I really
Yeah.
haven't this week.
Huh? Yeah, everything is going.
So look, I wanted to say too that, but what Sam was talking about, that's really how we ended up with Trump in the first place, and that's a problem too. We really got to pay attention.
Yeah, and
That's
then
not-
Trump,
No,
Trump,
that's
why
not
we got
why
all
we-
of these
that is
presidents
not why
people
we
in
ended up
these
with
seats
Trump.
without experience.
Trump came in, we were in all this
No.
debt, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, Trump is such a great businessman. He's gonna get us out of this debt."
Who is everybody?
Everybody that
All the
voted
people
for
who
him.
got the tax
No,
cuts.
the people that voted for him were
Hillbillies and
the
tax cuts
and
and,
misogynists and
percenters.
people that would rather have any man be the
Than
president
have the
over
first one.
fucking woman.
That's
Apparently,
That's what
apparently
happened.
it was the majority though, because he's the president.
It
But
wasn't
it
even
is not a
majority.
majority.
Like that nigga Trump won like
He wasn't
51 to
a-
49.
It
Like
wasn't the majority.
small majority. That's all I'm saying. Like.
Okay, but it's a majority.
But you can't say you can't attribute him.
Because he
You
didn't have
can't
a lot of
attribute
votes,
him
so he
losing.
wasn't, yeah.
I mean, you can't attribute him
I'm
winning.
not arguing that. I'm saying he
vote.
won the presidency based on the fact that he came in on the same issues that we're facing, and he didn't fix them. So we need somebody who's going to actually fix them.
But none of that shit was in his platform. So what are you talking about?
But that's
no,
the
his
perception
platform.
he gave off. though.
His
That's
platform
was
was
that
I'm gonna
wall.
build a wall.
That
And
wall
he,
and making
he
America
preached
great
that
again.
the whole time he elected, and people still voted for
Everything
him.
that was
over
against
that shit.
Brown and
all of that was smoke and mirrors. Like the people, what we keep talking
And
about, the tax cuts and all that stuff, all the rich people. We talking about money at the end of the day. Trump got elected president of the United States because
They wanted
he's
that
a
money.
rich motherfucker and he knows how to make money. All those people behind him. That was his.
How does he know how to make money?
That was what was Trump's
I think
resume
people
besides
thought
that?
that he was gonna make money for the country. I mean,
I'm telling you, that was his subconscious of it though. What was his resume besides that? That's what everybody was looking at it like. Oh my, you know what I'm saying? It was like it's a great business.
I'm telling you, it was
He
simple.
can't-
Everything else was smoke and mirrors.
It's as
I'm
simple
trying to tell
as
you.
they didn't want a woman to be the president.
That's really what it boiled down to be. And Hillary, she tried
Yeah,
to pivot to black.
Y'all wanna know
too
something
much.
funny? If you
And
go
that's what
back and
too.
look at all the stupid shit Trump ever did or said,
It's
at
what
the
a
same
typical white
exact
person would say.
at the same exact time he made us this dumb, outrageous statement or move or whatever, at the same time some type of thing was going into effect that affected rich people and benefited somebody's money, and it was all smoke and mirrors. Somebody pointed it out to me the other day. But Trump, it's not, nothing was accidental. Not like Trump, they're not that dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was. You always have to pay attention to what's going on. Every time something was a big controversial thing that Trump said, there was also some type of law or
It's kinda
effect.
like
Well,
what just
that's
happened
why
right
Tax
now.
cut.
that's why I just said. At the end of the day, these people are literally just to a certain degree talking heads. They have to, at some point in time, when they're put in that seat, they have to deliver on all of the promises that were made to the people that fueled their campaign.
So our goal here today, despite our personal feelings, our goal here today is to make sure that all 20 of these candidates that we try to help put out what they are trying to do, because we're doing exactly what happened to the last election, which was forget the fact that what everybody was talking about, what they were going to do. We focused so much on what was already happening with Trump that we kind of forget that we need to figure out what the policies are that we want to happen to work for us. So we gotta let these people know about the student loan stuff, let these people know about immigration, all these different issues, in the hopes that maybe we'll get the right candidate to go against them.
Yeah, like
That's
the
all we
average
did.
Joe was like, what to me it became a like this story of Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, man versus woman. Clinton background, her husband being the president before her, being on Obama's administration, all these things, this great soap opera thing, but it was never about the issues. You know what I'm saying? That's
Well, let's keep it about the issues this time around, and let's hope that these folks.
The
are
issue is
listening.
y'all better buckle up because we in for 4 more years of Orange Man. Until
Let's hope
something
we're not
bad.
though, but if people don't, if these candidates don't step up, we may be into that issue for sure. Alright, so we're gonna leave it off at there. I'm sure there's gonna be some more debates that are gonna come, and we'll start dwindling down with things, but this is our first step. We're getting ready to wrap up 2019 soon, and so next year it's really gonna start hitting it. Everything gonna start happening real fast, and so while we got the time to ease into it, let's ease into it and pay attention to all the little details. Alright, so let's go to the cool stuff, because you know politics is always a snippy subject because everybody has their own personal thoughts on it. Let's discuss the politics of the BET Awards.
Oh, yay, interesting.
So we had a host, what it was, Regina Hall, she hosted. We had Nipsey Hussle receiving a humanitarian award. We had a tribute, Mary J. She received something. I cannot think of the Lifetime Achievement Award. There you go.
Got her ass up there looking.
Honey, Mary is,
She did it.
40 or 50 years old, honey.
No,
She-
Mary literally just got off tour with somebody, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Look, towards, no, Mary was looking tired.
Thank you. As
Mary was looking towards the end. She was
as
like,
people that perform, like even when she was doing the dance routines, like her choreo,
she's like,
it looked really. She looked tired, child. Like,
but she was no disrespect. She was swagging.
Her
She was
outfits were
swagging.
busted.
I liked it too.
You saw a little cheeks.
yeah, the outfit's lovely. But
Shout out to Ducky Confetti.
what's
Okay,
what's
Ducky.
that?
He does like a lot of work. I mean, he does celebrity work, but his
Celebrity
biggest
styling.
thing is like faux fur. He's based out of New York. His stuff is really nice though.
Well, yeah, sorry, Mary, love it.
Yeah, no, she was
And
swagging.
it took a lot of courage for you to only do your songs as bad as they really sound. So congratulations to you.
Are you shaming her for how she sounded?
I'm going to
Okay.
say she sounded like her, and I'm glad no one else had to sound like her. But
Okay, so this was my take from it because I watched it live. As everything was, I think, coming about with the actual show, and she started out singing, like actually just singing some of her songs. She was a little pitchy. It wasn't, you know, on point. But once she started doing like her little upbeat songs, when she was dancing and stuff, I was like, okay, get it, Mary.
Yeah, but even
the singing wasn't.
Like,
well, she's always.
So,
I think her and like Diddy and like Lil Kim, like them old school people, they can't really dance, but they be into it. Like their dancing be a vibe. Like I think she was on her own vibe.
She also had like a small snippet in her performance that went on.
Who was that? Cameron?
No, what? You better show some. You better show some. That was Method Man.
I forgot.
If you don't get the hell out of here.
Whoa, so now you going? Is he from New York or something?
Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't matter where he's from. He's a
Wu-Tang Clan.
He is.
What? He is. Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan is absolutely.
Okay, but y'all saying that like I gave a fuck about the Wu-Tang Clan.
You should have.
I keep telling y'all all the time. Like I grew up on R&B music. I did not start hearing rap until I got older.
I wasn't listening to rap either, but I recognized their importance just because it was like that was like
so you never listened to any of her old, like Mary's old songs or anything like that?
Let me tell you about Mary J. Blige and our relationship. I don't like Auntie Mary. Her songs, the lyrics are really good, but I can't listen to this bitch screaming at me, and she just don't sound good.
Okay, and I can respect that because I do have some people where I don't like them and folks be looking at me like I'm crazy, aka Lauryn Hill. I don't like her. And the crazy part about it is I like everybody that came along with that neo soul move. Like I love Erykah Badu, I love Jill Scott, I love Maxwell, but I cannot stand Lauryn Hill. Like
what's wrong with Lauryn Hill?
I don't like her. I don't like her voice. Her voice just doesn't do it for me.
And I
can understand how somebody can say because you can like music of a certain era or type, and then you don't like somebody that everybody deems is like amazing.
Yeah.
So I ain't have.
Can we talk about Lil Kim looking a hot mess?
She been a hot mess since she started having.
I liked her wet dog look. It was actually cute.
She's getting a little better.
There was at one point she was looking alright with the surgery, but now her face done got fat.
Because they were trying to take her back up because she's older. Yeah. Now stuff is saggy and droopy and everything else.
Yeah, so it's time to go back to the end of the night.
Okay, so wow. What? Would you like to elaborate on the misogyny? Like, what's up?
That wasn't he. That was a.
She already
point.
What? So if it's saggy, you gotta get it touched up. That's not me being misogyny. I didn't tell her to go get it in the first place.
So what you're telling her is she needs to go get the Nicki Minaj procedure.
No, all I'm saying
is some people do get touched up because like
you started it.
Yeah, Cardi's abs look fucked up though.
They do look weird. I ain't gonna.
Back to the BT Awards.
Yeah, so
Cardi's on BT Awards.
Yeah, she
with her performance with Offset. Did we like what Offset did with his performance? I think that was him dancing. I think it's weird to see him dancing all of this right here.
I'm glad to see him back dancing.
That was weird.
Back dancing. I've never known him to dance.
He used to dance all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
And I guess the rest of the crew couldn't dance, so he had to go to the two.
What I don't like, shout out to Offset, blah blah blah. What I don't like is getting on Beyonce's Twitter, seeing people talk about, Chris Brown, you got some competition. No, it wasn't all that.
It was not, but when I seen it, I did think that. I was like, so he trying to be a Chris Brown up here? When I saw the performance, that's what I thought. But the music and the dancing don't match. What he was doing, what he was saying.
Why is it? Because Chris Brown's singing, he's a rapper, and I feel like
he's a real dancer.
Offset's a real dancer too.
Chris Brown's a real dancer, bro.
Offset is a real dancer.
No, Offset was like a pop rocker.
He's like a I dance in my neighborhood. But
Offset was in one of Whitney Houston's videos as a kid.
Show the receipts.
It can be looked up. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Do you know what song?
No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I wanna dance with somebody. He wasn't even born then.
I think he was in one of those videos.
Chris Brown
people are
That's
just
dancing. Music
Like,
is dancing.
all the
I think
rappers
people
now.
are just talking about it because they're not used to seeing him in that light. Because I know even when I saw the performance, I was just like, oh, okay.
First of all, they're not.
It wasn't bad, but
They're
it was
not.
just
They're
like,
not
where's
used to.
this coming
They're
from?
not used to seeing Offset in general.
Where's this coming from? Did he really get in the studio
Right.
and work on these 8 counts?
That's what I was thinking in my mind too. Like I just couldn't.
He probably did.
See him taking the time to say, "Oh, I'm about to kill this."
It looked like how Cardi looked when she was dancing. I love Cardi to death, but I think her dancing is pretty weak too. I think seeing her with those other girls, whether it's a press video or not, like I just felt like her dancing was like, I could do without you dancing. I would prefer you to just be up there and look sexy and do
She
all that
does-
kind of stuff.
She
over what
dances
she
a
does.
lot better than that other bitch that's out here rapping that be trying to dance.
Who out
So
here dancing and rapping?
Nikki,
Oh,
Nikki can't do no choreography
I don't think none
to
of
save
them.
her life.
None of these rappers can really dance.
Megan be dancing her ass off.
I
Megan
think
can twerk,
I've never seen
twerk.
a female
but as far
rapper
as do like a
twerking job.
like a dance
She has
dance.
choreo. You gotta go watch her performances, bro. She got background dancers. She's out there doing it and still rapping and being nasty and sexy. Like, get like Megan. Next year at the BET Awards, Megan Thee Stallion is
they
gonna
said
be
that she was
performing.
supposed to be. Then
She did the pre-show.
Exactly. But see, you know, they like to give people the pre-show first.
I couldn't.
Child,
It
why-
was okay, but I was not impressed by Lizzo.
I'm still not here for her. So
Yeah.
I wanna shout out the her and YBN Corday performance.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
loved it
see,
though. I
her-
was a fan of that.
her is dope.
Was
I
good.
liked it.
Why being for that? He
He-
did
no,
good,
he-
but
yeah,
It threw me off a little bit because the spoken word
I thought,
piece was
like-
about 2 minutes long at the beginning. I'm like, okay, is you about to sing or
Well,
is this about to be the whole thing?
Like an interlude. I felt like it was like one of those.
Like she
It was
does
fine,
all the
but
time.
Right.
yeah, I didn't expect the performance to start like that and it stayed like that for
I
so
think that's
long
supposed to
of
be
the
her
first
church
part.
song too. People were saying
Yeah,
that she
I
should have
think
been
so.
nominated for gospel album.
No. Well, I mean, if they
You
was
know
gonna give it to
what?
Snoop
Snoop
Dogg,
Dogg
like,
Out of all those gospel people that was in there, that
well,
they gave it
it'd
to
be the
Snoop
same gospel
Dogg.
people every year, so you might as well spice it up.
Exactly, just like Cardi. This is the first time that it went to somebody other than
in
Nicki.
defense,
Nicki
though,
won like
in
5
defense,
No,
though,
years
she
in
they
a
was
said-
row.
one last year.
They said
Cardi
that
won last
Snoop
year.
Dogg
okay.
album was really good.
Yeah, I do,
They
but
said
I'm
that
saying
Snoop Dogg
that
gospel album was really good.
I feel like
I didn't listen to it, but that's what I heard from.
I felt like it was a little bit. Never mind, because then it gets
But
too.
that's-
It
we
gets
ain't
too
going into the
spiritual.
religion,
Right,
okay?
exactly, because that's what we're
Mason
gonna
was a
go.
preacher.
But
What they got to do with the tea in China?
Sure.
honey,
Okay, so
deserve
what-
to be in hell.
So was the BET Awards that bad that it really only had 2 million viewers? Because that's what they
Wow,
said.
I was one of those 2 million people.
But at the same time, I don't
I'm
believe
talking
that
live,
shit.
when it
Like,
came.
like that is
Well, I go
low.
flex. I love Regina Hall, but I felt like her performance going into it was pretty weak too. I just
Yeah.
wasn't connecting with her, so people probably changed the channel.
I've heard what she was fine.
I
At
like
the
Regina
beginning
Hall.
and
They said she was one of the best they've had.
I like Regina Hall. She was
She
funny.
thought you no.
She was
Me
funny. She
personally,
had
Let me
Monique
ask you.
personality.
Let me
was
ask you a
my
question.
favorite.
Who else did the BET Awards last year?
Don't know,
Exactly.
but I know.
I
when
bet you'll.
Monique
But
did
you'll
it.
always remember Regina Hall though.
I will always remember Monique. I will not remember Regina Hall after this year.
Well, Monique.
I was,
Monique
although I
it
did
twice
like
in
her
Iconic.
tribute to Go Go Music that she did because she's from DC and how she had Taraji come out there and they kind of did the doing and they, you know, it was cute.
Yeah, because
but
they're so
everything else just
cute.
wasn't.
But sometimes
really
you have
hitting with
those
me like that.
hosts where when they let them do it by themselves, it's just like, eh. Like I remember when Queen Latifah did it. She did it by herself, and it was like every single monologue or whatever was like a nod to one of her movies. And it's just like, okay. She came out as Cleo. She came out with the Nets jersey on for like just right. Like that was her whole judge the whole show, and it's just like. Yeah, we get you. We love you for the culture, but you ain't funny. Like,
She
no, because Regina Hall is a comedic actress.
But she
so
wasn't.
is Queen.
She wasn't delivering.
But that's what I'm saying.
funny,
Even
though.
Queen Latifah didn't deliver.
She
to
wasn't
me.
delivering me. Regina Hall wasn't delivering.
What do y'all be expecting? That's all I'm trying to say.
Expecting
For
somebody
people-
to actually be
for,
funny.
For people, no. For people that are always pro-black and want black people to do shit,
I didn't say
y'all, I
what
feel like y'all are
black
being
woman.
very critical on what it actually takes to be a fucking host. And it's an award show. It's like, what the hell do y'all want? Like, do y'all want what? Like, she
Well,
did
no,
the job.
what I'm saying is,
Should
what I'm saying is her jokes for me fell flat because of the references. So I feel like, yes, I get that her theme was, oh, I'm from DC, save go-go music. Okay, beyond you doing the whole intro of the whole homecoming Beyonce thing, okay, cool, we get it. But then throughout the show, she kept on giving references of DC culture.
did.
Everybody's not from
Talking about
DC.
that mayor
So
and
it's just
everything.
like for you to give references
And
to
it
stuff
wasn't
that
in DC.
everybody in the culture
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
know.
in
It's in LA.
Okay, so
I said that
okay,
too when I was
so guess
watching
what?
it. They don't.
Y'all do realize that a lot of people did, like, we talked about what was going on in DC, but it wasn't getting worldwide attention.
But that was on
so,
social
but wait,
media,
I understand, but we always say black people don't use their platform for the right
Yeah,
reason.
and for that
was her
reason, I could
platform.
respect her doing the intro. Beyond that intro, which I feel like she touched on very heavily, the intro could have been the intro, and that was that. At that point, once you have people's attention and you entertain them at the beginning of the show, it's like, okay, from there, you just need to keep the punchlines more so relevant to current events so that people can actually relate to you.
So I guess BET just don't got the budget for Kevin Hart.
The budget.
No,
First
they,
of all,
Kevin Hart was
y'all don't
was
like
definitely
Kevin
so
fucking
big.
Hart.
I'm not a fan.
Black people.
I didn't
That's
say
true.
I was
A lot
on
of
Black people don't like Kevin Hart, bruh.
So y'all want to
They
want
would
Kevin Hart
prefer
to
Cat
host the BET
Williams
Awards?
over
Kevin Hart.
Y'all
Kevin
rather
Hart
Cat
and
Williams host the
Okay.
BET Awards than Cat.
Kevin Hart and Regina Hall could have hosted it together because they have good chemistry. But no, I don't want to see a Kevin Hart hosted award show.
They wanted Kevin Hart for the Oscars.
Exactly. They, the
Oscars,
white people,
yeah.
because they
They
like
love
him.
him.
Y'all would've
That's
been
what we're talking about. We're talking about their system. You're talking about ratings. You're talking about all that extra shit. That's
But
different
it's still
shit.
no, it's still not their show, bro.
Yeah, it's BT. It's our thing.
But you see, but you don't see the correlation though. If you're
No.
if you're talking about why were the ratings low and why was nobody tuned in,
And I don't think
we're
that
talking going mainstream.
Well-
mainstream is a they thing.
And I don't
When
think
it's
they
BT
Yeah,
versus
no,
me for our community, we don't care what they
I
are
don't
doing.
think
So
that
it's
they
just not for our
advertise it
community.
as
Why we're
2 million people is not enough for our community.
Why is it? What you mean?
Because
what
you,
you think
we
is,
know
what type of numbers?
concerts and stuff.
What
and
type of
things
numbers
like-
you think?
I think
What
black people
concerts
do
you
more
see
than
with 2
2
million
million.
people?
Well, obviously not a concert.
Okay,
but
then what you
I
think?
do believe
I
that we
don't
could do more than
think,
2
for
million.
one, I don't think that it was as heavily advertised, for one. Because I didn't know that the BET Awards was even coming on until I think I was flipping through TV and
I bet if Kevin Hart hosted, those ratings would be up. I bet the advertisements would have been up. I bet you would have known about it then.
You probably would have because why? Because he's a man.
And they would have had to,
Not
and
even
they
that,
would have had to
it
make
is
their
definitely
money.
a
They would have had to make their money back, paying him to be the
So
host.
they
Exactly.
would have pub harder. They would
But
have
at
been
the
more
end of,
had
at the
better
end of the
commercials.
day, like, I'm still trying to figure out like what y'all expect because you saying y'all said she could have been funnier, but
Well,
they've had whole ass
but
Steve
yes-
Harvey and Cedric Entertainer host the shit and it wasn't funny.
Well,
Like Will Smith wasn't funny. Like
Well, let me say my piece on it. So when I think about a host, I'm thinking about somebody who is going to keep us entertained. Whether you're funny or not, you're going to keep us entertained. I think what lost with me was I was just bored watching her. So it wasn't anything to draw me in to just make me feel like I wanted to see her. It was like her performance that she had in her last movie with that little girl where they played two totally different people. What it,
Little.
Okay, so in Little, I enjoyed seeing when she turned into a little girl. When she turned back into her, I did not like her character. I felt like the character that they wanted her to portray, I don't feel like it was genuinely her, like the person we would see if she was able to write her own stuff and kind of be authentically
I think
her.
she's kind of
I'm just not
always
into it.
kind of been all over the place as far as acting. Just
It
because she
reminds me of
started
It reminds me of
She's
Kerry
versatile.
Yeah.
Washington with her facial expressions, how it can sometimes just look like she only has one.
What we're
And she
not,
curl
what
the
we
lip,
are,
and
what
then
you,
she
let me tell you
non-curl the
something.
lip.
And I love
she ain't
Carrie.
playing-
I love her.
if she's
What
not
you won't
hitting
do
a
is,
strong-
what you won't do is do that. Regina is so versatile. So she's a much better
That's what
actress
I'm
than
saying.
Carrie.
She didn't show it. That's what I'm saying. Like she only gave me. I felt like I seen one
think-
person each time she performed. Even when she was pretending like she was about to win over Regina King, and she had that one, and she said,
I think we can't.
just
We
wanted
can't.
more.
Listen, we can't blame her for that. I think it just comes down to award shows themselves are just boring in general.
Exactly. The point of the award show is not even the host. That's what I'm just trying to say.
That's
like
true.
we're
Right.
supposed to be entertained by the people performing.
"True that."
That's the entertainment. Hell, she just
Then why
supposed
would they
to
give us
bridge the
an
gap.
open? You know what I'm saying? Like you're giving this whole open window, and it's almost like we're setting her up for failure then, because she's giving 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes to sit here and do what? Entertain us while we're waiting for somebody to change clothes or set up a scene or whatever it is that they're doing. And I just feel like maybe the structure of award shows, like you guys say, should be better. You know, why do we have a host? Why can't we do like how the old shows do, where like MC, like when she comes in and she says her little piece, we go to commercial, next thing we know we come back into somebody introduces something or something like that. Like why do we give her so much attention if we're not expecting to judge her on what she's doing?
I still think Kevin Hart can't lose.
Oh well.
Well, we're not.
Well, I feel
Any
like
other highlights? From the
Shout out to
BET
Lil
Awards?
Baby for winning Best New Artist.
So much. He was on there like performing.
Sam is really good. What you talking
I was about to say, I just wanted to see what she was gonna say because you know I ride for my baby.
What y'all think about the Nipsey Hussle tribute?
I didn't.
I ain't gonna play. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I knew that he got it because they discussed it from the beginning of the show that he was gonna get. But out of those two
Child,
million people, I eventually
the
changed
show
it.
was running late.
Even till I saw Mary,
All right,
and
so
then after
all
Mary,
is
I was
yeah.
turning off. When You All I Need came on, I was like, all right, I gotta go shower.
All right, so it started out with YG and
We
I
started
guess-
from the beginning on it. What he started? Wait, what?
we're talking about the trip.
Oh, I was about to say, don't go back to the beginning of the show. Go.
Why,
I thought you was going
YG was
to the
not at
beginning.
the beginning of the show.
See, I thought you was going to the beginning.
I thought
of
you
the
watched it.
Awards.
Though. It
Oh
said
my!
YG.
Oh my!
Ladies.
So the tribute started out with YG and a couple. I guess there was some. After YG did his tribute with the song they did together, they DJ Khaled came out and did the song that
Was John Legend there?
Yeah, so John Legend performed. Who else was on that song?
I guess I
John Legend and it was just John Legend and Nipsey.
Chim.
So John Legend did a great job, I think.
Well,
Y'all didn't watch, so whatever.
yeah, shout out to Lauren London though because games people play is that
I
fire.
love that show. I don't care what nobody said. And that ending
finale?
twist.
Well,
Shout out
talk
to
about it, 'cause I
Lauren.
haven't
They
been
did.
Lauren, you have done impeccable, and I pray for your continued success and keep staying strong. Rest in peace to
She
Nip.
brings good quality
You know.
to that show because her husband, I'm not a fan of his acting.
Yeah, because he don't even look like he's supposed to be really
He
acting.
don't look like he's supposed to play no basketball, and so I'm like, I should be convinced because you're tall enough to trick me into thinking that you can hoop.
Well, shit.
And his best friend,
It ain't no
I
worse
know
than
he's
Survivor's Remorse, a TV show about basketball. We never seen Jesse T. Usher dribble a fucking basketball. They had never had a scene where he was playing the
That was
game.
pretty good though.
Exactly, but they never had this nigga playing
the
ball.
games that twist at the end, and then I enjoy what you call it. She sucked at acting, but I still enjoy her character. What you call it? The Simmons girl.
Oh,
I-
Angela Simmons?
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
Vanessa.
yeah. You know, she actually starting to look so much more.
That's who that was?
Yes, Simmons. Yes.
Guys, I missed that completely. She's getting mom weight or something. Like, oh,
Well, she's
sorry, I'm
older
not.
now. She's older, and so she definitely looks like. Shout out to us mothers, but yeah, we definitely look mom boys.
Yeah.
And you feel like differently, and it's like a different. But yeah, she's got.
Avery is not happy with us, guys.
Because we did it right.
That nigga is like, man, y'all won't let me talk about it.
I don't care about that. Y'all talk about
We
the
gave
show.
him credit.
Never seen it.
You gotta check it out, though. All right, so we
Never seen
discussed the BET Awards. We gave a little shout out to Lauren London as well. I also love her tattoo, but we're not gonna go too much on her. All right, so let's.
Y'all didn't see his mom give the speech?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
Y'all know, so y'all didn't think that was, nobody thought it was a little weird? Nobody.
Let's see it. What happened?
No, her mom, his mom is just very spiritual. So basically, she said that when she went to the scene of his death, she basically had an out of body experience.
She accepted.
She started out was like, I wonder why nobody is asking about what the cop said or something. Like she was all over the place.
Yeah.
I think she's still healing.
She emotional, bro.
And I think, she could be going through, I'm not going to call her delusional, but she could just be going through a stage where she's floating right now. You know how you just coasting through, like you ghosting through?
Yeah, she could have just had a bad shroom or something.
The way it sounded, because it did make it to the Breakfast Club interviews. And so it definitely, I am a huge fan of the Breakfast Club, so I apologize.
I could live my whole life without hearing them three people, honestly.
I am the hugest fan of them, so if you ever want me to, I can go in there. So I'm glad. Iggy, who, what is it, Andre Iguodala?
Not to be confused with Azalea.
Yeah, because we're talking about Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala.
Okay, so he has a book. So for those of you who would like to purchase his book, you're more than welcome to check out the platforms in which books are sold to get his book. We're not paid for that sponsorship, so we're not going to dig on that too long. But he did have a interview with the Breakfast Club where he was discussing his books. But of course, because he's being interviewed by 3 individuals who absolutely
are goofy as fuck,
and they will pull out stuff that you weren't really trying to talk about. Let's talk about his interview. So, to me, the reason why I thought this was something that would be good to talk about was only because I felt like he was doing a tell-all and that he was putting the NBA on blast for a lot of things that people may have speculated before, as far as the players' health and different things like that, and just the semantics. Because somebody asked him, do you think it's a black and white thing? And he really tried to beat off of that without saying, yeah, it is. So he's like, well, to me, I just felt like he kind of dug himself into a hole that could possibly have issues when next season comes out.
Well, at this age, he's like fucking 32, like 33. This nigga's been in the league for a long time. I don't think he like, the NBA doesn't scrutinize and fine and punish their players as if like the NFL. Like if it was an NFL player, oh yeah, that nigga would be in some deep water right now. But the NBA is more liberal. And Adam Silver does a really good job at allowing his players to express themselves and be, they get to be, they can use their NBA platform for social issues and such. So I don't think that's an issue. My issue is like, out of all the people you could call, you pick up the phone and be like, yeah, I want to interview Iggy.
I don't think it was.
I think he requested to come on there because of his
book.
About
his book.
Yeah, I think it was really just about his book.
People wanted to promote stuff.
Oh,
but
and I think they was just happy to see him because they warriors.
I agree with you though. I don't think it was no digging himself in the hole. He just was telling it like it is. And he wasn't really he wasn't throwing dirt or shade on nothing. Like he just was keeping it real. He was mostly speaking about his experiences. I guess with the injury, talking about the doctors. I guess he was talking about how he felt some type of they lied to him about his injury, and just because the organization wants you to play, especially when you're a big name where you're putting up numbers, they're gonna do whatever to make you play. So he was talking about stuff like that, but I don't think he did too bad. There wasn't nothing for him to get too much heat about. Did he get some heat about it?
No, he didn't. Outside of making it to ESPN and them kind of just picking out certain topics that he talked about to discuss, it really wasn't too much backlash to him. I just felt like the way this book is written, there's going to be some juicy stuff in there. It's really going to make people want to read it. So he definitely promoted his book sales, but I just thought maybe it would have affected his next season. But with the politics that you guys are describing to me that the NBA has, then we shall see what happens. Any other highlights that y'all want to give from it? I didn't want to dig too much into it because I really didn't care what he was saying. I just wondered if it would be one of those things that would have set him back. That's all.
Nah, I'm just going to say there were a few more Warrior players that would have been a lot more interesting than me.
I feel you. All right, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse because obviously he wasn't important then, he wasn't important now. So let us go ahead and flip the script. We're gonna pull this thing back into some music.
Oh yes.
And I don't know now because I kind of got to. Okay, we'll do the music because you got all excited. Can we discuss Cardi B's video press?
What?
I need y'all the graphics and everything of that video. Literally.
Okay, so
naked body.
okay, so
She
what the
was.
fuck is up with that? Like, can you not have nipple on camera or something?
You know
Like,
that they be blurring
It's
nipples out and shit.
yeah, but like, it was
But
just
they
so
work
weird
around
to
it.
see.
But I think that they decided to do an artistic
Yeah.
move.
Well, I do know one thing. Whoever her doctor
They
was
look like
for them
Barbies.
titties, whoever did them titties,
Nice
they did a good job. She has a nice rack.
Nice.
She got them
Those are
touched
some-
up because she
Yeah,
said that they had gotten like
Those are
seconds.
some
No.
great New York boobs.
She got those done in New York?
She's from New York.
No, she got them.
You see that
She
Dave
went to
Chappelle?
Yeah,
Those
She
aren't her
said she
real
went to the
titties.
Dominican.
I
Yeah,
know
those-
that.
Oh,
That and
It's a Dave Chappelle reference. Y'all don't get it.
we don't get a lot of the shit you're talking about today.
Oh, well, those were.
We knew it was gonna come out at some point.
I don't know what you're talking
So,
about. The video. I mean, we were talking about this last week. Like, I hadn't heard the song, and so I still didn't. I'm still not hearing the song, but the video did.
I don't believe that because I believed you when you first said, but then I went out to the club because you know I never go out, but I went to the
Yeah.
club the other weekend. They played it in the club, so why you not hearing this?
I have no idea.
And I
I
heard it
don't
on the
think
radio.
I have no idea.
Do you
That
hear-
song,
And I don't really listen to
it got better. The video made it. The video made the song better.
I think the video did not make the song better for me. I felt like the video was a little bit what is my word? I don't know. It's scary.
Did you follow the storyline of the video?
I saw a lot of things in it that I got. I guess it just looked creepy to me. How everybody dotted in, how she was killing the girl in the bathroom, and it just was a lot. Did you watch the
Never
whole
seen
thing?
Cardi made a mess.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was just like, but I thought you just like, it's kind of like when they talk about the players, when they say, no, when they talk about the rappers and they say, you get into trouble, but you rapping about what you're sitting here saying that you're not doing. So it's kind of like, so I feel like you're already in jail. Like, you just talked to her being indicted on all them charges.
Yeah, but it
And
wasn't
you're talking
murder.
about, you know,
Yeah, it's
no,
a
but I'm saying
parody
it's-
based off of her real life.
I mean, I just
She
feel
showed
like
up.
the
I feel like you can
quality
go against her.
of the video was good. I feel like it
Very
was
well
very
shot. Artistic.
yeah, and it was
Storyline.
artistic,
I
which I think she's trying to keep up with. Cause her money, no, I'm not saying she's trying to keep up with Nicki. Cause at this point,
She has to pass Nicki.
Yeah, I feel like all of Nicki's
Girl,
videos
back
at this
here, and she's all the way in front. Like,
Girl,
yeah, I just
you
feel
can't
like
really believe
Nicki's
that.
videos right now have a certain aesthetic to where it's kind of all the same. Honestly, she just finds new creative ways to shake her ass.
I'm
And that's
sorry,
not-
but that
but,
good form video was artistic.
what video?
Good form.
Is that
See,
when
we
she
don't
was in
even
the
know
pool?
it.
When she was dipping her cookie in the milk. Yeah.
Oh my god. But that
She did.
part, I mean, honestly, that part, because of the colorfulness, that was very reminiscent of Super Bass. Like, she hasn't had videos that were just like, oh my god, like this is
Well,
pretty
you know,
cool.
some I know we're talking about Barty, but some people really don't make good videos, and I will be one of the first to say that one of Drake's best videos literally just happened off of Scorpion when he did the Degrassi thing video for fucking what the fuck is the name of the song? Oh well,
It was like a reunion. I know
yeah,
what you're talking
but
about.
I can't think of the song anyway. But Drake does not make good music videos that are memorable and long lasting.
Yeah, because honestly, like I said, with Nicki, it seems like it's on one accord. Versus, I think that Cardi is trying to keep up with
Just
her
because-
last video.
So
'Cause
this era.
I think Money was a good video.
Oh no, like Cardi hasn't had a bad video yet, in my humble opinion.
But I think Money
except
was
for
like
except
good.
for I didn't like the ring. I didn't like the ring video,
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
but
What's wrong?
This is a song,
song
with
with
Kalani.
Kalani.
She did it was based off of, it was based, it was like, he trying to laugh.
I won't be able to get it in there because I gotta.
Her and Offset was practicing together. Y'all niggas is funny.
And it's like he trying to keep up the laugh like every time.
Consistently.
make her every
I know, because I tried to fake it, and then now I'm laughing at myself trying to fake it, so then it got real.
All right.
Oh,
So
gosh.
we just gonna go ahead and just drop that. The video was good. The status was good. We were pleased, but we were not pleased by the cardio.
Choreo.
The choreo.
Cardi,
The choreo. Sorry.
Yo,
All right.
shout out to Cardi though, because even through like I feel like the narrative is gonna start to get annoying though, because she's on this, yeah, all my haters this, I'm proving my haters wrong and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, but how long you gonna preach that narrative? Because at some point when you have hella songs in the top 10 on Billboard and shit, like what haters? The people that tweet you, dog. Stop searching your fucking name on Twitter, Cardi, and you won't see all that shit. Like,
I think it's really like friends and stuff. I honestly think they probably come back to her because they see it. It's more common for them because they're like us, so we are reading what other people are saying.
Literally, Cardi retweets people all the time, and they don't even add her.
Okay. So I feel like there's
regular
no
person.
Okay, there's no problem with I think someone having a very similar narrative throughout their career. She might just be, the fuel for angry stripper thought girl music, and that's completely fine. We were just talking about Mary J. Blige.
Carisha, please.
How many times was Mary J. Blige singing about being hurt? Damn, girl, you want to hurt your whole life.
But
She
that's
was hurt.
but
that's what I'm saying.
It's a difference, because I'm saying like, okay, she can do it, but somebody used to always talk about how many haters they had, and people were like, girl, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so acceptable with Cardi, and like,
I feel like because she has that element of realness,
Nicki was real too, though. She was,
but she's not. And I feel like Cardi,
the music, either you gonna love her or you gonna hate her.
yeah, and I feel like Cardi always kind of, in a sense, puts herself first. I think she's so big on not wanting to lose herself. So it's just like, even when her, because I follow her on Instagram, and sometimes sometimes even when stuff is going on, she will get on live and be like, oh, my publicist told me not to get on live, but I just really wanted to get this shit off my chest and say what I had to say, and people like that about her. Like, I mean,
because like I said, because it's cute right now, but like you said, if you keep preaching it, it's not gonna be cute no more. It's like, we're tired. You've grown. You've been in this game for a while. You making buku money. You already know they gonna hate. Let them hate. Like,
which really saves her, because she was really having a bad few months, because after Please Me was supposed to be that big record, but it never could get that because the dumb shit. Nah, not Nicki, but Cardi had said some dumb shit. The stripper shit, the old I'm drugging niggas shit had came out. And so Please Me didn't get it. So it was just like she was kind of just there. Like, it's kind of like she had lost that spark. So Press is not it.
Please Me wasn't even on all that record.
It
wasn't, but it could have been though. Like when you got Bruno on the track, for that not
it was his track, wasn't it?
It was a duet.
Okay, so they both.
Yeah, that was like Mexican cousins that came together and did that shit. That was racist.
I'm about to say, because he doesn't identify strictly that way.
Child, if I gave a fuck about, oh my God.
It's all good. So did you have anything to add to that? Because I did cut you off to change the subject. Did you want to add to it? Or if you were saying how Please Me wasn't it, she had a rough past?
Yeah, she just had, she was getting stagnant, and I mean, technically, the bitch still stagnant.
Don't do that. Listen, it is enough to get her back going on her way. Right now, we have to remember that now she's no longer giving us one hitters. Now we're waiting on a classic to come through. So she's at that stage now where she could chill if she wanted to, and people would still be rocking to her music.
She should probably do an album.
I agree. And it has to be a classic style.
No, I know she had an album. I'm saying
it's time for another one. At this point, like you said.
No, the album came out last April. It's been over a year.
Yeah.
I think.
People are still dropping singles. You drop a single after single. It's time for us to put out something.
Yeah, you gotta do something.
Yeah, you gotta tease us with something. Let us know something coming up or something. But
I think people are
tour with these, and
I feel like And that was one of the things that I was gonna say before. I feel like the shelf life on music is just so short right now because people wasn't putting out albums every single year, but it's like for you to be able to stay relevant in today's climate where stuff is coming out every single day.
Yeah, because we're recycling through more people
niggas also wasn't dropping 6 fucking singles off their album before the album drops. Like they would have a single, drop the album, and then months later drop another video for it. You know.
So I think, like you said, we have such an instant way of getting things now.
Oversaturation, undersaturation,
because we're seeing the same faces exactly, but we're getting so much content from the same faces. And then you have to go underground or mixtape to hear somebody new, and then it takes them forever to break through. And so you, anyway.
If Migos named this fucking album they finna drop Culture 3, I'm gonna be sick.
They probably are.
I'm done with it. So done.
They probably are.
We're not talking about, okay. So we were initially.
I mean, Cardi's the 4th Migo, so we
she sure is. I've been waiting for them to see if they was gonna create a group like the Fugees did, and like kind of have a group that's with her in there. But then they still Amigos, but it's like Amigos +1. Anyways, I'm tripping. Okay, whatever.
They would have to change.
Shout out to Gucci's album that dropped.
I heard Ice, right? Is that the name of it? Number 4.
Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
I think the name of the song is Ice. I heard that.
While you guys do that, I'm going to set us up for our game.
Well,
it's, Delusions of Grandeur.
No, I know the name of the album.
Ice, yeah, that's number 4.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
But the first song was hard to me. Bust Down, how it came in. Then the number 2 song with Backwards that he got with Meek Mill, that was fire.
Oh wow, so you listened to it enough to have favorites now, huh?
He's going through it now.
No, but no, I did. The first 2 were fire.
That shit long.
How long?
He didn't scroll about 3 times now.
It's like 19 songs. 18.
How long do we have to wait for Port of Miami 2?
I hope. But Ross been teasing.
Oh wait, let me call Wale and ask to see if he knows when Ross is dropping. Wale is so stuck up Megan Thee Stallion ass. He can't even see shit.
Oh my goodness. Is that why him and no, that may have been an old story. Let me not open up because we're not even talking about that. So you guys ready for my game?
It's a surprise.
The game that we don't know about.
Exactly. I love to bring surprises.
Well, surprise me with a time check.
So your time check is 4:43.
Oh,
So are you ready for my game? Okay, so the game is called Finish This Sentence. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna give you the start to the sentence. You gotta finish it. We can either elaborate, we can laugh, or whatever it is on what you just talked about. But you have to finish this hard
breathing. You okay? You need a fan over here?
No, I'm like really going through it over here.
All right, so
somebody hand him his phone.
Yes, like
he needs a recharge. He needs a recharge.
Phone probably blowing up.
I'm sure.
Well, I'm just gonna let you know we're gonna flip it and we're gonna ask you a question too that you have to finish the sentence for.
Okay, that's fine. So first question, and feel free for whoever.
So this is just out there for everybody?
It's out there. Whoever is the first person to answer it, you go from there. So finish this sentence. It's Aggie win. You have something, so that's what I want. It's Aggie win what?
It's Aggie when I call Focus his real name and that's not my name.
I've never said that though.
Yes, you
have.
Every time
don't call me that.
You don't know me by that, right? All of my family call me that name. If I didn't tell you that, you don't know me by that name.
I'm not trying to make you upset.
No, I'm not. I've never told y'all that's not my name.
You have.
I go by one thing.
Whatever.
And I haven't.
That's
regular.
So it's Aggie when somebody tell you that you said that they didn't call you by that name?
No, it's Aggie when somebody says you did something that you didn't do. Or says you said something that you didn't say.
Okay. Anybody else got his Aggie? You got his Aggie win?
I was just gonna play off the little tension here.
So
I was gonna say it's Aggie when folks act like they got amnesia.
I never said Avery's not my name.
It was just a sarcastic joke.
Well,
I said I was just
I didn't even say your real name. You just gonna put it out there.
I don't have a problem with my name. I go by Focus. I'm a whole rapper out here. Like this.
No.
Just spit out the quick 8 bars.
Take it from 10 to 2.
This nigga trying to fight today.
No, I said please take it from 10 to 2 because I was just yeah.
Well,
Right.
then,
You said somebody was gonna get it done.
Okay, here's, I like this one. It's cheating if.
It's cheating if you fuck somebody outside of a relationship.
yikes.
I gotta
It's cheating if
Mm-hmm.
you run in the election that you oversee.
He's
I'm throwing shade
talking
at Kemp. Because how the fuck you the Secretary of State running for the election and they the ones in charge of elections?
Oh.
That's
I
what
like
Stacey's
it.
talking about. But anyway,
Thank you for putting that. What? Okay.
You didn't know that?
No.
that was a controversy. That's why Stacey.
Yeah,
no.
That's why she's fighting for the voting rights and shit, because they did not count a lot of votes, and Brian Kemp was the person
That's a
in
whole-
charge of the
We
election.
talked about that.
Yeah, that was
We
a big
definitely
thing.
We haven't talked about that.
We
I felt like I should have remembered that. If
I don't know
who
who's shooting the show then. I don't think we were shooting the show then.
Okay, because I was.
I
about to
think
say,
she was already. They had already done that election.
Yeah, it was a
You got one? It's cheating if.
It's cheating if you ever have to question yourself.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
off at the strip club.
No, it may not have been at a strip club, but what I'm just saying is that scenario in itself. She was a stripper, and you jacked off on her, but you did not have sex with her. But you're in a relationship. Is that cheating?
No, because I'm jacking off in my relationship. So if that's not cheating, if me jacking off to the flick in the relationship is not cheating, why would I care
It's
if I
cheating
do
if you
that?
feel
on
guilty about it and you can't tell your partner about it.
What did I just say? It's cheating if you gotta question yourself.
I just want to say because that one made it to an actual podcast with a married couple,
We
and
cucumbering
that
all
question
summer.
came up to them, and they
Did you see that? No, not even just the video, but you know, apparently, Wife and Lucci had commented
Yes.
under the picture and
That
Renee had
resonates
something
lots
to say
of
about it.
shit.
But then I guess there was some pool party, and they had the girl at the party, and she was like
She was special guest.
butt ass naked, and they just like girls was just sucking cucumbers, and,
Yeah, so
and
can
he
we
was
talk
there.
about that? Can we talk about these girls sucking cucumbers on Instagram?
We cucumbering all summer. That's all I got.
Like it was crazy. And she was just like, I think she
First
put in
of all,
a video.
where the fuck they get these big ass cucumbers from?
The grocery
'Cause the-
store.
No, they're genetically engineering these son bitches because I've never had a pickle that big. So
Because pickle cucumbers come in pickle size. There actually is a cucumber that's made in pickle size.
the cucumber that bitch was sucking was like this big, like,
Yeah, it's genetically
and
modified.
she didn't have no throat.
It's more than
Something.
one. There's several different bitches sucking
Yeah.
cucumbers.
Yeah, they were separate at the party.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Instagram. Yo, go.
It's for people like you.
Yo,
I'm
shout out my
just
man.
like,
Shout out my
they
man Trouble. DZ Trouble, man.
Oh shit! What Scoob is a fool. What the fuck he say?
School got all the old sucking cucumbers out here.
It's his fault.
He got the challenge going. Go look at his page.
Oh
He got
my
like
god.
Otbar V is on school page sucking on cucumber. You ain't see that?
No.
Let's
I
start
never
it back
did.
in. We got a couple more questions.
Oh, but what's the last one? It's cheating.
You already. Oh,
I
you
know,
got another
one
one?
more.
It's cheating if.
If you get caught.
That was lame.
So you only got it. Never mind.
That was lame.
I mean,
Insert bad-
so this is the
bad
next one to
joke.
follow that one. What is it?
can we just point out that all of this shade, this whole episode is from Sam being upset about last episode.
Hey, it's been 12 weeks, and you know it's the time where
Let that
I'm
hurt
comfortable
go,
with
brother.
y'all. So
Let that hurt go,
y'all felt
brother.
comfortable enough with me to join me. So I'm coming at y'all.
You
man.
coming at everybody. You've been coming at everybody since day one. Don't do that because it
Right.
used to be me.
It wasn't
now
the
the table
first day.
finally moved up.
I'll never forget
You
the first
look
episode.
goofy.
My ass
Why
was
you
on
wearing
here.
your head like that?
I mean,
Why you got on that?
why you got on that
that
SEO
on?
shirt?
Why you got this on? Why you got that on? You have everything to say, and you got a question one episode, and now you in your feelings.
What it do, baby?
Talk about insert at the bottom with your bad dad joke.
So, next one. He or she is a F boy or girl if they
Suck cucumbers on Instagram.
You are a fuck boy if you go to CSL Plasma to get money to pay your bills.
You a fuck girl if you post your Cash App on
Does that is that just apply for girls?
Cause
IG.
You know my ass be posting my cash out. Cash out me. Matter of fact, $. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't trying to get no request. You know,
have one.
you done fuck with some fuck boys in the past. Don't call them out.
Here's another one. So, you know you're in a situationship when
I don't know. You tell us.
I'm not in a
Miss Mary.
situationship. I'm in a marriage.
You
It is
know-
a relationship.
You
so
know you're in a
there's no
situation
about
when
it.
what? Is that what the
Just
question
when,
is?
yeah. You know you're in a situationship when.
You know you're in a situationship when I don't know.
So obviously you
I
got
don't do
all the
situationships. I do
If we were
relationships.
in situationships, we wouldn't know
I'm
about it. We don't
married.
know
Yeah,
about
you
it.
wouldn't know if you was in a situationship. You would just be going through that situation.
Mm.
You know you a nigga when.
Ooh, this could go all kinds of ways.
you got 2 boxes of Popeye's fried chicken.
Oh. Nah, I don't know. Anywho, back to this regular schedule.
You remember one thing I used to say that?
Oh, y'all don't eat biscuits.
Just kidding.
Go for it. You know
You know you a nigga when
you eating biscuits on the
you
camera.
pulling out the Popeyes on set.
We did.
But nah, like really though, you know you a nigga when you actually enjoy watermelon, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like,
No, don't stereotype us with the water.
nigga, y'all stereotyping me with the chicken. Hell, I am the
You
stereotype.
have the chicken though.
That's-
That was
I
like-
That
will
was a
eat
joke. That was
watermelon.
a joke.
Here she go, Sister Soldier. You know you a nigga when
You know you're a nigga when you don't pay your phone bill till it cut off.
facts.
And then the first thing you say is, I'm fine, but ain't nobody trying to reach me. Or you know you're
No,
nigga
I'm
when
not
you
a-
say that you going ghost on social media, but it is because your phone is off.
LOL.
Like you got the money and everything, but you just don't pay attention. You make a call. Oh, your phone out today, so then you pay it.
You know you a nigga when you can eat a dry ass Popeyes biscuit without choking.
And still talk.
I'm sipping on my beer though.
God damn, dog. I would have got some honey if I didn't know you wanted the shit.
I'm on wood.
I didn't get honey because I knew I wasn't gonna eat the biscuit.
Anybody else? Well, that was my last.
You ain't got no other question? Ass on good.
That was it. That's all I have for you. So, you know, we were gonna touch bases on Lala.
No, we got one for
Carmelo,
you.
but-
A
go
relationship,
for it.
a relationship is over when.
A relationship is over when.
She got things
When
that.
no, a relationship is over when you feel like there's nothing else. There's nothing.
Right.
Well, that's
A
if the
relationship-
is bad.
A
I feel
relationship
like
is over when
you
I
bored.
delete all the pictures of you on my social media.
That's petty. The relationship is petty when.
I feel like a relationship is over when no one wants to do the work.
Ugh, cool sign.
Commercial.
I didn't apply to be in a relationship.
Relationships are work. Period.
A relationship is over when y'all stop having sex.
Right. So that's the first step.
I mean, because some people say the relationship's over and then still be fucking each other.
Of course.
But then y'all, there's a bond.
So the relationship still exists if you're having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the relationship is a relationship if you're having sex.
Mm-hmm.
So why in the hell is it that a woman will have sex with a man and say, are we in a relationship? And y'all will still tell that bitch, no, we ain't in a relationship. Because, and she said, but we're having sex. And y'all be like, so?
Because we're not in the type of relationship that that woman is asking about. In that
they have a relationship.
It's not.
They have a sexual relationship.
Yeah,
so you're in a situationship when you're having sex with someone, but you're not trying to be committed to them?
Basically.
Okay. As long as we know that. So ladies, if you're ever in a situationship where he doesn't respond back to your phone calls, but he responds back to your
know your role. Know your role in that relationship.
I'm about to say, she up here talking like that's bad. Girls,
we not.
Do what you gotta do, sis.
No, because there's a lot of people who
we're not a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship.
Role.
We're a hit it and quit it relationship. So when I hit you up, we gonna hit it.
That's why F boys exist more than F girls.
These niggas out here is just grimy.
If a woman were to say something like that, she would have smoothed
Fair
it.
exchange ain't no robbery. If we both been innocent, we both know what we getting eyes on.
But chances are, if it's that kind of situation, it's always only one person who knows and the other one doesn't.
That's not what I'm talking
You are a prostitute if you are a prostitute if niggas send you cash apps for sexual favors.
You a prostitute if you walk around with a purse full of condoms.
What? First of all, hoes
So is he a prostitute?
condoms. First of all, niggas don't have condoms.
But niggas supposed to carry condoms. So.
I'm saying
like she has to.
I'm saying like 2 or 3, like for you about to go do something that's good for a woman to be safe. If a woman has like a string of condoms in her purse, like that's OD. You feel me?
Okay.
Well,
anything else?
Sammy Socialite signing out. This is naive.
Right, so
positive words for the episode. You know.
We ain't even gonna keep it positive. Then. We done dropped so much, it's all over the place. But everybody is welcome to sign off. You don't have to be positive about it. You can just
go check my Instagram at Samuel1190 because I've been posting quality content as of late, and my page is popping. So go check that out.
Is the suit still on there?
Yes. It will remain on there, sir.
Well, check out my business page. They always be pushing me to, put out there. I'm posting some different content now. So, Shacks_closet. Z in place of the S. Closet. Don't do it.
C-boy. Cut that out.
Check me out on Instagram at Freaky Focus, all one word, no space in between. Check me out on SoundCloud, Freaky Focus on SoundCloud. You can find me. I just dropped a song, Jesus Web, like a couple weeks ago. But I'm about to start dropping some more. I normally don't drop songs on SoundCloud. I normally drop them on Apple Music and Spotify and all that. But for those of y'all who, don't want to pay for subscriptions and stuff like that, I'm about to start dropping on SoundCloud. So look forward for that. Go ahead, click on that link, subscribe, all that.
My page is private, but you're more than welcome to send me a friend request at natural_attributes. I just posted pictures of my family and my baby. Well, anyways, we'll check in with you next week. We're unfiltered.
Take it off.